Chosen one, let me ask you something real. Why does it feel like money keeps slipping away from you no matter how hard you try? Why do you keep finding yourself in the same financial pit, the same struggle, the same cycle of just barely getting by? You're not lazy. You're not unworthy. You're not broken. And yet, here you are again, stuck. You see others who don't even walk in the light like you do, and they seem to flourish without effort. But you're constantly fighting an invisible force. That's not a coincidence. That's a divine design. This message, right here, right now, is not just another video. It's not some random scroll on your screen. It's a spiritual appointment. The universe has brought you here, and us at this precise moment because it's time. You've been wondering, praying, asking, why do I struggle financially even when I'm chosen? This message is your answer, and not just that. It's the breakthrough you've been waiting for. Chosen. 1. Your struggle is not because you're not capable or because you're cursed. It's because you carry a calling that requires spiritual refinement. You are not meant to live like everyone else. And that includes how you earn, receive, and hold money. You've been trying to operate in a world that was never built to support your spiritual energy. That's why it feels like you're always out of sync when it comes to finances. But here's the truth. Once you understand the real reason behind your money struggles, you'll stop blaming yourself and start aligning with your divine flow. You need to hear this from someone who sees what you carry, someone who's walked the road you're on. I'm here to tell you the truth no one else has dared to say. Your financial struggle has a sacred root, and until you pull it out, no amount of hustle will change your situation. But once you do, the floodgates will open. So stay with me. Don't click away. Don't get distracted. Let your spirit be still for a moment and receive what's yours. Because this message will change your life. Not later. Now. If your spirit already feels the truth in this, comment 777 right now. Let me know you're tuned in and ready. And don't forget, subscribe to the channel, tap that bell, and share this message with another chosen one who's been in the same silent battle. This is your time. Let's begin. The spiritual contract of the chosen one. Chosen one, you are not like the others, and deep down, you've always known that. Even before you had the language to explain it, even before you awakened spiritually, there was something different about you. You've felt it in your solitude. You've sensed it in the way people react to your energy. You've seen it in the trials you've faced. And today, I'm here to confirm what your spirit has whispered all along. You have a spiritual contract. This isn't just a metaphor. This is real. Before you were born into this realm, your soul agreed to an assignment. You didn't come here randomly. You didn't arrive on this earth by chance. You were sent, chosen, for a specific divine purpose. That purpose was etched into your being long before your first breath. But here's the part most people never tell you. The contract of the chosen one isn't easy. It's sacred, yes. Powerful, yes. But it's also heavy. It comes with trials. It comes with seasons of lack. It comes with betrayal, isolation, delay, and deep spiritual pressure. And unless you understand what you agreed to on a soul level, you will misinterpret everything that's happening in your life. You might be asking, if I'm chosen, why does my life feel like a battlefield? If I'm called for greatness, why does it feel like everything is trying to break me? Why is it that I'm doing everything right, yet still feel stuck, broke, or forgotten? It's because your soul is being refined by divine design. You didn't agree to come here and live an easy life. You agreed to come here and awaken, and that awakening costs everything that is not real, not pure, and not aligned with truth. When you said yes to your divine assignment, you also said yes to the fire. You said yes to the breaking, to the stripping, to the long nights, to the battles no one else sees. You said yes to walking alone when others take the easy path. You said yes to being misunderstood, to being rejected, to being doubted, even by those closest to you. And you said yes to all of this because your soul knew the reward would be worth it. The spiritual contract of the chosen one is not punishment, it's preparation. You were not placed in the furnace to burn. You were placed there to be forged, to be purified, to be made unbreakable. Because the mission on your life cannot be fulfilled by someone weak, easily shaken, or attached to comfort. Every storm you faced was written into your story. Every delay, every door that didn't open, every relationship that fell apart, every opportunity that slipped through your fingers, all of it was part of the divine preparation. You see, the Most High doesn't just pour greatness into anyone. He selects, prepares, and then releases. And you, chosen one, are in that season of release. But first, you had to be emptied. Emptied of ego, emptied of illusion, emptied of dependency on others, emptied of old beliefs that were never yours to carry. And let's speak truth. It hurt. It broke you open. You had moments where you didn't know if you'd make it. You questioned your sanity. You doubted your purpose. You cried out in silence, asking the Creator why He would allow someone like you, with a good heart and pure intentions, to suffer so deeply. But now, looking back, you can see it. You can see how every moment shaped you. You can see how the isolation birthed wisdom, how the rejection redirected your path, how the scarcity taught you faith, how the betrayal sharpened your discernment. The contract is not for the faint of heart. It requires sacrifice. It requires obedience when it doesn't make sense. It requires trusting what you cannot see. And it requires staying faithful even when you feel forgotten. But here's the beautiful truth. Every chosen one who endures the process is rewarded beyond comprehension. And not just with material wealth, but with spiritual authority, inner peace, divine favor, and generational impact. You didn't come here just to make money. You came to shift the energy of entire bloodlines. You came to rewrite history, to raise the vibration, to speak truth in a world drowning in lies. That's why your life has felt so intense. Because your calling is massive. You are not cursed, you are covered, you are not forgotten. You are being hidden until the time is right. And that time, chosen one, is drawing near. Let's go even deeper. The spiritual contract also included certain people. Yes, even the ones who hurt you, even the ones who betrayed you. Their roles were necessary. They were catalysts for your awakening. If they hadn't pushed you, you wouldn't have prayed the way you did. If they hadn't left, you wouldn't have discovered your own strength. If they hadn't rejected you, you wouldn't have learned to choose yourself. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was accidental. Every person, every situation, every challenge was part of the divine curriculum. You were also assigned spiritual gifts, things that didn't make sense to others. Your intuition, your dreams, your ability to feel what others are hiding, your deep sensitivity to energy, your ability to see beyond the surface. These weren't random. They're evidence of your spiritual contract. And if you've ever tried to dim those gifts, suppress them, or fit in with those who can't understand them, you've probably felt deep internal conflict. That's because your soul came here to stand out, not blend in. You are the light in dark places. You are the voice of truth in a world addicted to lies. You are the healing presence in families bound by generational pain. It's not about being better than anyone. It's about being chosen for something, and that something requires refinement. Now, here's where many chosen ones get stuck. They resist the process. They fight the seasons of stillness. They resent the tests. They complain about the weight of the calling. And in doing so, they delay their own rise. Don't let that be you. Embrace the contract. Lean into it. Say yes, again. Not with fear, but with fire. With certainty. With reverence for what you're carrying. And if you've been doubting lately, if you've been wondering whether the path is worth it, let this message be your reminder. You didn't come this far to stop now. You didn't survive all of that just to settle. You didn't awaken just to stay stuck. You have been tested, you have been trained, and now you are being trusted. So take this moment, right here, right now, and recommit to your divine contract. Say it out loud. I accept my assignment. I embrace my preparation. I trust the divine process. I will not shrink. I will not retreat. I rise. Speak it until your bones believe it. Speak it until every cell in your body responds. Because this isn't just a message. This is a spiritual alignment. And when the blessings begin to pour in, because they will, you will know that every moment in the valley was worth it. You'll see that the pain was never punishment. It was positioning, that the silence was never rejection. It was sacred preparation. Chosen. 1. Your contract was signed in the spirit, and now it's time to fulfill it in the physical. Walk boldly, speak powerfully, move intentionally. You are not who you were. You are who you've become. And this world has no idea what's about to be unleashed through you. The spiritual contract has been activated. Now walk in it, fully, fearlessly, and unapologetically. Your mindset was never yours, chosen. 1. It's time you know the truth. The way you think about money was never your own. From the moment you arrived in this world, your mind was handed a script written by generations of fear, struggle, scarcity, and survival. Before you even knew what money was, you were absorbing energy. Conversations in the background, arguments about bills, worry in your mother's eyes, disappointment in your father's silence. The programming began early and it ran deep. You were taught that money is hard to get, that it doesn't grow on trees, that wanting more is greedy, that being spiritual and being wealthy don't belong in the same room. And without even realizing it, you signed that belief system into your spirit. But here's the part they never told you. You can't create abundance from a foundation of fear. Your mind was trained to expect the worst, to prepare for lack, to settle for less. Even now, when opportunities show up, part of you still hesitates. Part of you still believes it's too good to be true, or that it won't last, or that you'll mess it up. That's not your voice. That's the echo of generations who didn't have the chance to break free. But you do. The enemy doesn't want you to realize this. Because the moment a chosen one reclaims their mind, they become unstoppable. That's why the attacks always begin in your thoughts. That's why you wrestle with doubt every time you try to move forward. It's not because you're weak. It's because your mind is the battlefield. And let's be honest, how many times have you talked yourself out of greatness? How many times have you dimmed your light, postponed your vision, rejected your own blessings, because deep down some part of you whispered, "You don't deserve this"? That voice is not divine. It's a leftover lie, and it's time to destroy it. You must begin to think like who you really are, not the version shaped by trauma, not the version created by poverty, but the divine version. The one who remembers that abundance is a reflection of alignment. When you heal your mind, you heal your money, because the external world always mirrors the internal belief. You were never meant to repeat the patterns of your bloodline. You were meant to break them. That's why you've struggled. That's why you've felt out of place. Because you weren't sent here to fit in with limitation. You were sent to redefine what's possible. Chosen one, from this day forward, challenge every belief about money that makes you feel small. Ask yourself, is this truth or is this programming? If it keeps you trapped, it's not truth. And if it doesn't match your divine assignment, it must be unlearned. Renew your mind daily. Speak abundance even when you don't see it. Train your thoughts to support your future, not your past. The mind of a chosen one must be cleansed like a sacred temple, because what you believe, you become. The loop of self-sabotage. Now let's talk about something most chosen ones never realize until it's too late. You're not just being attacked from the outside. You're sabotaging yourself from the inside. And that's the most dangerous part. Because when the enemy can't stop you with outside obstacles, he turns your own hands against you. Chosen one, how many times have you received an opportunity and delayed it because you weren't ready? How many times have you told yourself you'd start when it feels perfect, or when you feel more confident, or when the timing is right? That's not divine timing speaking. That's fear dressed up as wisdom. It's self-sabotage. And you've been calling it caution. Some of you undercharge for your gifts. You play small because you don't want to seem greedy. You downplay your light because you're afraid of being judged. You wait for some mystical confirmation before you act, even though your spirit already gave you the green light. These are all ways you delay your own elevation, and it's time to stop. Self-sabotage doesn't always look like destruction. Sometimes it looks like comfort, familiarity, routine. You stay in places that don't serve you because they feel safe. You stay broke because at least you know how to survive there. You avoid risks because losing scares you more than being stuck. But hear me clearly. Your comfort zone is your spiritual cage. There's a part of you that has been conditioned to suffer. It believes that if you're not struggling, you're not worthy. That if it's not hard, it's not holy. But that's a lie from the pit. Holiness is not about hardship. It's about alignment. And if you keep glorifying struggle, you'll keep manifesting it, even when you're surrounded by abundance. Let's go deeper. Every time you come close to a financial breakthrough, something just happens, right? A crisis, a distraction, a sudden wave of doubt. You pull back, you shut down, or you spend impulsively and sabotage your momentum. That's not just bad luck. That's your subconscious pulling you back to what's familiar, lack. You've made struggle your identity. But now it's time to choose differently. You're not meant to live in cycles. You're meant to evolve. You have to start catching yourself in those moments. When you feel resistance, don't run. Sit with it. Ask it why it's there. Unmask it. Because once you shine light on self-sabotage, it loses its power. Comment 333 right now if you've ever felt trapped in this cycle. If you've seen yourself get in your own way again and again. Acknowledge it, not with shame, but with courage. This is your turning point. From here on, speak life over your finances. Declare that you are safe to receive, that you are allowed to expand, that success does not threaten your soul. It empowers your mission. You don't have to shrink to stay holy. You don't have to suffer to be worthy. The Most High delights in your growth. And now, it's time to walk in it. No more loops, no more sabotage. This time, you rise on purpose. The truth about money in the spiritual realm. Chosen one. It's time to unlearn the lies you've been taught about money. It's time to strip away the layers of fear, guilt, and shame that were never yours to begin with. Because the way this world has trained you to see money is not only wrong, it's dangerous. It keeps you bound, begging, and beneath your divine rank. You cannot walk in your full spiritual authority while holding beliefs about money that were designed to keep you small. Let me tell you something many spiritual leaders are too afraid to say. Money is not evil. It never was. It never will be. That's one of the greatest deceptions ever preached. The truth is, money is energy. Money is neutral. Money is a servant. It becomes whatever spirit is in control of it. In the hands of the wicked, it corrupts. In the hands of the chosen, it creates, uplifts, heals, and frees. So if money is just energy, why does it feel like it's always running from you? Why does it seem like the more spiritual you become, the more financially you struggle? Why do so many of the chosen live in a constant state of lack, even when they're doing good, helping others, and living righteously? It's because you were trained, yes, trained, to believe that being poor is somehow holier, that poverty equals purity, that to want wealth is to betray your spiritual roots. These lies were never divine. They were taught to control you. They were taught to keep you powerless. Because a chosen one who is both awakened and resourced is a threat to everything false in this world. You've probably heard that the love of money is the root of all evil. But that verse has been twisted for generations. It doesn't say money is evil. It says the love of money, the obsession, the greed, the idolatry is what leads people astray. But you, chosen one, don't love money. You love truth. You love purpose. You love people. And it's precisely because of that love that money must flow through you. Because how can you help others if you're always in need yourself? How can you fund the vision that was given to you if you're constantly struggling to survive? How can you lead others out of darkness when you can't even afford to keep your own light on? Hear me clearly. Lack is not of God. Scarcity is not holy. Your suffering is not sacred. The Most High is abundant, limitless, eternal. And you were made in that image. You were created to reflect that same frequency, spiritually, emotionally, and yes, financially. But abundance isn't just about having more. It's about becoming more. Money doesn't define your value. It reflects your alignment. When your energy is in sync with divine truth, resources begin to chase you, not because you're chasing wealth, but because you're embodying purpose. Now let's go deeper. Money flows through the path of least resistance. So if your spirit is full of conflict, confusion, or contradiction, you are creating resistance to the very thing you're praying for. You cannot affirm abundance while secretly believing you're unworthy of it. You can't ask for overflow and then sabotage it with thoughts like, I don't need too much, or people like me never get rich. That's not humility. That's hidden fear. Chosen. 1. Humility is not rejecting what's yours. It's being ready to receive it without losing yourself. It's knowing that wealth in your hands becomes a tool of transformation. It feeds the hungry. It funds the mission. It frees the next generation from bondage. If you've ever said, I just want enough to get by, I want you to stop and ask yourself why. Who told you that just enough was the goal? Who convinced you that overflow would ruin you? That more would turn you into someone else? You were taught to fear abundance because the enemy knows that once you own your value, once you stop settling and shrinking, once you walk boldly in both power and provision, you become unstoppable. And they can't control someone who no longer accepts crumbs. Let me ask you this. Do you believe the Most High would place a massive calling on your life and not equip you with the means to carry it out? Do you really think you're supposed to change the world with an empty wallet and a broken spirit? Absolutely not. You're being called to shift how you see money because you are being positioned to steward more of it. But first, Your internal blocks must be cleared, not by force, not by fear, but by truth. So let's speak the truth plainly. Money is not demonic. Money is not corrupt. It is the intention behind the money that matters. It is the frequency that matters. When you operate from love, integrity, and purpose, money becomes your servant. It bends to your mission. It responds to your energy. You are not here to worship money. You are here to wield it, to direct it, to give it purpose. That is divine stewardship. But let's be honest, most chosen ones have never been taught how to steward wealth. They've only been taught how to survive. They've only been taught how to scrape, how to settle, how to wait for rescue. That ends now. You need to learn how to manage money, not just manifest it. You need to structure your life like someone who expects abundance. You need to educate yourself, discipline yourself, prepare yourself, not because you worship wealth, but because you respect your mission enough to carry it with excellence. You must release the guilt, release the shame, release the belief that money and spirit cannot coexist. That lie is the chain, and you are the breaker of it. Chosen one, you are the bridge between realms, between spirit and matter, between heaven and earth. Your wealth is not just about you, it's about the people you were born to impact. Your finances must match your frequency. You cannot afford to keep denying your abundance. There are too many depending on your rise, too many waiting on your yes. And when you finally decide to stop running from wealth and instead run toward divine responsibility, the universe will rearrange itself in your favor. You don't need to hustle. You need to align. You don't need to force. You need to flow. You don't need to beg. You need to believe, because once you believe, truly believe, that you were made for abundance, everything changes. Your words shift. Your actions shift. Your standards shift. Your energy becomes magnetic. And the best part? You don't lose your soul. You find it. You don't become greedy. You become generous. You don't chase material things. You use material things to build sacred legacies. That's the truth about money in the spiritual realm. It's not a curse. It's not an idol. It's a tool, a divine mirror, a test, a blessing, a responsibility. And now, chosen one, you're ready for it. Not because you're perfect, but because you're prepared. Not because you chased it, but because you aligned with it. Not because you manipulated, but because you remembered who you are. So walk boldly, speak wealth over your life, respect it, welcome it, and most of all, use it wisely. Because now you know the truth, and the truth will never let you settle for less again. How your purpose connects to your prosperity. Chosen one, listen carefully. Your prosperity is directly tied to your purpose. It's not random, it's not luck, and it definitely isn't something you have to endlessly chase. The moment you align with why your soul came to this earth, you begin to unlock the flow of divine provision. Not because you're working harder, but because you're finally walking in agreement with your destiny. You see, the universe doesn't finance ego, it finances purpose. The Most High funds mission, not vanity. That's why things never seem to work out when you're trying to follow paths that aren't meant for you. That's why you feel drained and disconnected when you chase money instead of answering your higher calling. It's not that you're incapable, it's that you're out of sync. You've got gifts, you've got insight, you've got a frequency on your life that this world desperately needs. But as long as you keep hiding it, doubting it, or treating it like a hobby, you'll remain stuck in survival mode. Your breakthrough is buried inside your obedience. That thing you keep avoiding, that's the door, that's the trigger, that's the key. When you embrace your purpose, you move into divine alignment. And with alignment comes flow. Suddenly, opportunities show up. People are drawn to you, ideas spark, resources find you, You're no longer begging for scraps, you're living in overflow, because heaven funds what it commissions, and your calling was never meant to be carried empty-handed. You have to stop separating your spirituality from your income. They're not opposites. Your purpose is your provision. When you step into your assignment, you don't just inspire, you attract. Because the energy of authenticity is magnetic. And don't let the world trick you into thinking your gifts aren't valuable. Your voice heals, your story awakens, your presence shifts rooms. But none of that matters if you keep burying your talents in fear. You were not sent here to play small. You were sent to disrupt, to awaken, to lead. That requires energy, and energy requires support. Let's make it plain. You're struggling financially because you've either ignored your purpose, minimized it, or haven't activated it. But the moment you say yes fully, not halfway, not with hesitation, the entire frequency of your life changes. Your gifts make room for you. Your talents create streams, and your obedience unlocks overflow. You don't need another side hustle. You need to fully embody your assignment. That's the real currency. Everything else is a distraction. When you become who you were created to be, you will never lack again. The world may resist it at first, but heaven will reward it. This is why so many of your past ventures failed, not because you weren't skilled, but because they weren't aligned. You were chasing money when you should have been walking in mission. Now, you know better. So now, you do better. Chosen one, your prosperity has been waiting on your purpose to wake up. And now that it has, get ready. Because what you've been praying for is about to start looking for you. Spiritual practices to attract abundance. Chosen. 1. Everything in your life flows from your energy. Not your job, not your circumstances, your energy. When your energy aligns with divine truth, abundance becomes a natural result. But most people are walking around with energy that repels prosperity. They carry anxiety, doubt, fear, unworthiness, and wonder why money avoids them. What you carry spiritually becomes what you receive physically. So if you truly want to attract abundance, you need more than just hustle. You need sacred discipline. It starts with presence. Each morning before you touch your phone or think about your to-do list, you must return to your center. Sit in silence. Close your eyes. Breathe. Listen. Speak to your Creator. Speak to your higher self. Ask for guidance and clarity. You need alignment before you make decisions. Otherwise, you move from survival mode instead of divine flow. One of the most powerful practices is declaration. Not begging, not hoping, declaring. Speak your truth with power. Say, abundance flows to me because I am aligned. I am a divine vessel, open to receive. I release all blocks between me and prosperity. When you speak with faith, your words shift the frequency of your life. The universe doesn't just hear what you say, it responds to how you say it. Speak like you believe it's already done. Another spiritual tool that changes everything is gratitude. And I don't mean generic gratitude. I mean radical, soul-level gratitude. Thank the Most High not just for what you have, but for what's coming. Thank Him for the lessons in the struggle. Thank Him for trusting you with refinement. Thank Him in advance for every breakthrough that hasn't even shown up yet. Gratitude is a magnet. It pulls more into your field. A grateful heart is always wealthy. Let's talk about cleansing your energy. Some of the blockages around your finances are energetic. You're holding on to fear, resentment, and lack energy from the past. You need to release it. Take salt baths, burn sage or incense, fast, pray. Speak forgiveness over yourself and those who hurt you. Make room for new energy by releasing the old. You cannot receive new blessings in a cluttered temple. Journaling is another sacred weapon. Every day, write your truth. Write what you desire. Write what you're releasing. Write what you are stepping into. When you write with intention, you plant seeds in the spirit, and what is planted with faith must rise. Don't just let your thoughts drift. Direct them with clarity and power. Now listen, you must also examine your daily habits. Are they supporting your vision or draining it? Are you waking up with purpose or dragging your feet through the day? Are you managing your time like someone who values themselves? If your actions don't match your prayers, your life won't match your potential. Spiritual practice is not just what you do in meditation. It's how you show up in every moment. You also need to check the company you keep. Energy is contagious. If you're surrounded by people who constantly complain, gossip, live in fear, or reject growth, that energy seeps into you. Protect your field. Guard your gates. You don't need a crowd. You need alignment. Sometimes separation is the gateway to elevation. It's time to make your lifestyle a reflection of your belief. Clean your space. Organize your finances, even if they're small. Treat your current money with respect. Don't wait to be wealthy to act like a steward. Stewardship starts now, because the Most High will only increase what you're ready to handle. Affirm daily, I am a faithful steward of wealth. I manage my energy, my time, and my money with honor. When you live like abundance is already yours, it begins to mirror that truth. Here's another truth. Your nervous system has to feel safe receiving. If your body is stuck in survival mode, even when money shows up, you'll reject it or lose it. That's why rest is part of wealth. Stillness is part of the strategy. Breath work, grounding, sleep, nature, these are not luxuries. They're requirements. Your soul cannot expand when your body is always under stress. Meditate on this. Do I feel safe holding abundance? Or am I still bracing for lack? If you're bracing, your spirit is telling you there's still healing to be done. And that's okay. Awareness is the first step. From there, you choose differently. There are spiritual laws in place. The law of vibration, the law of cause and effect, the law of belief. You are not at the mercy of chance. You are the co-creator of your reality. What you believe, speak, and act upon becomes the structure of your life. So don't just hope for abundance. Align with it. Don't just pray for change. Become it. Make your life a living altar and watch how the universe responds. Chosen one, you have the authority to shift everything. The same power that called light into existence lives in you. Use it. Shape your reality with intention, discipline, and reverence. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being present. Comment 444 if you feel this message resonating deep in your soul. Because now, you're no longer waiting for abundance. You're walking in the frequency of it. The season of rise is here. Chosen one, you've crawled through the trenches. You've walked through fire. You've endured what would have broken most people. But you didn't break. You transformed. And now, the season of rising has arrived. I need you to feel that in your spirit. I'm not just speaking to your ears. I'm speaking to your divine timeline. The time for hiding is over. The time for scraping by is done. The season of always surviving, always hoping, always waiting, that season has expired. You've paid the price. The refining is complete. The inner work you've done, the healing, the forgiving, the rebuilding, it has shifted things in the spirit. You may not see the full picture yet, but everything is moving in your favor. Doors are opening, cycles are ending, and the weight you once carried is no longer yours. But hear this. When the season changes, your posture must change too. You can't rise into the next level with the mindset of the last one. You can't enter abundance thinking like someone who's still in the wilderness. The rise requires a new rhythm, a new frequency, a new you. This is where many stumble. They feel the shift, but they resist the responsibility. They want the harvest, but still carry the habits of lack. That cannot be you. You've come too far to sabotage what's next with fear, delay, or doubt. You must begin to walk like someone who knows they're chosen, speak like someone who carries the light, move like someone who is funded by heaven. This is not arrogance. This is divine confidence. There is a difference. One is rooted in ego. The other is rooted in remembrance. You are remembering who you've always been. Chosen one, everything is responding to your rise. The people, the opportunities, the money, the clarity, even your enemies. They see it, they sense it, and many won't understand it. That's okay. They're not supposed to. You're not rising to impress anyone. You're rising because the world needs what you carry. The message, the gift, the fire, the healing. It's not just for you. It's for the lives attached to your obedience. So rise boldly. Let's go deeper. This rise is not about chasing more. It's about becoming more. The rise doesn't start when the money hits your account. It starts when you say yes to your divine role. It starts when you stop explaining yourself to people who can't comprehend your frequency. It starts when you finally stop second-guessing the voice inside you that's been screaming, "You were made for more. You're not here to fit in. You never were." That discomfort you've always felt, that was the call. That longing for more, that was the clue. And that internal fire you couldn't put out, that was your soul trying to remind you that the rise was always written. But let's be real. Rising isn't easy. It requires you to leave parts of yourself behind. The timid version, the overthinking version, the self-doubting, self-sabotaging, always waiting for permission version. They can't come with you, and that's okay. Bless them, thank them, and let them go. Because the version of you that's about to emerge is powerful, purposeful, precise, grounded. You're not just stepping into abundance, you're becoming abundance. You are the blessing. And when you walk like it, the atmosphere around you shifts. Some people won't recognize you anymore, and that's the point. Some doors will close, and that's divine protection. Some relationships will fade, and that's alignment. Don't mourn what you lose in the rise. Celebrate it. Every subtraction is making room for the real multiplication. If you feel this truth vibrating in your bones right now, comment 999. Let the universe witness your agreement. Let heaven record your alignment. You are not hoping for a rise, you are choosing it. And remember, this season is not about struggle. It's about strategy. It's not about proving. It's about positioning. Get clear. Get still, get focused, create the structure, build the system, prepare the vessel, because when the overflow comes, it will not pause for your indecision. You've walked through pain with grace, you've navigated storms with faith. Now walk into wealth with authority. Walk like someone who belongs there, because you do. Chosen one, you're no longer the one asking for permission. You're the one others will come to for guidance. You're no longer praying for the door to open. You are the door. You are the gate. And through you, blessings will flow into generations you haven't even met yet. The rise is not just for you. It's for your bloodline. It's for your legacy. It's for the divine blueprint you were sent here to complete. So stand tall. Speak boldly, move swiftly. The time is now, not later. Not when things feel more perfect, not when everyone understands. Now, You are rising. And nothing, I mean nothing, can stop what heaven has already approved. Closing message and call to action. Chosen one, take a deep breath. Let this message settle into your spirit, because you didn't just watch a video, you received a divine activation. Everything you just heard, every truth that resonated, every word that made your heart burn with recognition, that wasn't random. That was spiritual alignment. That was heaven reminding you who you really are. You are not here to struggle forever. You are not here to beg life for crumbs while carrying a calling that shakes the very foundation of this world. You are not here to play small, to stay in lack, to dim your light so others feel comfortable. That time is over. The days of delay, doubt, and denial are done. The chains you've carried, financial, mental, emotional, ancestral, they're breaking. Right now. And not just because of what you've heard here, but because of what's being awakened inside you. That inner flame, that divine fire, it's rising again. You're remembering your power. You're realigning with your mission. You're reclaiming your prosperity. Everything you've struggled with, everything that's tried to stop you, all of it had a purpose. It refined you. It taught you, it tested you, but it did not destroy you, and that means it made you stronger, wiser, ready. You've learned that money is not the enemy, fear is. That struggle isn't spiritual, alignment is. That wealth isn't just material, it's energetic, it's spiritual, it's divine. And now you know the truth. You can't unknow it. So what are you going to do with it? This is your moment of choice. Will you shrink back into the shadows of old habits and outdated beliefs? Or will you step forward, bold and unshaken, into the light of your divine assignment? Will you keep pretending you're confused? Or will you finally admit that, deep down, you've always known you were meant for more, that you were called for more, that you were created to lead, to heal, to teach, to elevate, to change this world from the inside out? No more waiting, no more wishing, no more wasting time. The gates are open, the energy is ripe, the season has shifted, but heaven cannot force you to rise. You must choose it. So speak it out loud, right now. I choose to rise. I break every chain. I walk in divine wealth. I align with my purpose. I receive what is already mine. Say it again. And this time, feel it. Let your voice carry power. Let your body respond. Let your spirit awaken. You're not here just to survive. You're here to create. You're not here to chase money. You're here to attract it. You're not here to prove your worth. You're here to embody it. You're not a victim of life's circumstances. You are a vessel of divine authority. You are the shift. You are the healing. You are the answered prayer of those who came before you. You are the beginning of a new lineage, one built on clarity, courage, and conviction, one built on overflow. Don't take this moment lightly. Seeds have been planted, chains have been broken, frequencies have shifted. But now you must water those seeds with action, with faith, with belief. So here's what you're going to do. First, comment below. Let the universe witness your agreement. Let heaven record your commitment. If this message pierced your soul, drop a comment that speaks life over yourself. Declare your rise, claim your abundance, speak boldly. Comment 777-999-333 or whatever number your spirit aligns with. These are not just numbers, they are energetic signatures, a way to anchor what has awakened within you. Then, if you haven't already, subscribe to this channel, Rise of the Chosen, and tap that bell icon so you never miss another message that's meant for your soul. This isn't just content. This is guidance. A spiritual lighthouse in a world full of noise. Share this message with another chosen one. You know someone who's been struggling silently, someone whose spirit has been under attack, someone who needs to be reminded of their power. Don't keep this light to yourself. Let it shine. This is your home now. This is your tribe. This is where the chosen ones gather, rise, and remember. And as we close this message, I want you to hold this truth like a sword. You were never meant to stay low. You were meant to rise. You were never meant to stay broke. You were meant to build. You were never meant to stay silent. You were meant to speak. You were never meant to just exist. You were meant to expand. So, walk forward with courage, with clarity, and with certainty. Your breakthrough has already begun, and this time, you won't look back.